the mood like with the guys these first few days? How's everything in the locker room?
Everything's great. Everybody's excited. Everybody's happy. The new facility kind of feels like a new beginning for a lot of guys that have been here. The new recruits they get to see, pretty much just the uphill roller coaster that we had last year, and then they get to see the ongoing things that I feel like can transpire this year as long as we do what we're supposed to do.
What's the culture element of this camp? Well, I mean, how does that stuff kind of translate onto the football field? Like the stuff Coach Trader talks about, specifically about being selfless.
The big thing about being selfless is like, at the end of the day, you can say it, but I feel like if the older guys on the team don't like say and enforce those things, it's not gonna really be like used as much as we could possibly have it. So I believe that Coach Traylor, what he says, we all take note of it and we all have to say it. But when the old guys have to say, things like we got to pick up practice, we got to do these things, we got to do those things, run to the ball, run off the field. Those are the things that I feel like coming from the coaches is cool, but when you have your players doing it, it's even better.
What about when it comes down to reps and playing time? Because seems like there's a lot of talent on this defense, and it may not be enough time for everyone. And does that enter your mind any?
Not really, because at the end of the day, I'm just here to win games. They told me right now, Chuck, we need you to go get some water. I'm gonna be the best water boy I gotta be. Just at the end of the day, we gotta win games. We gotta do what we gotta do. Like you said, we have a lot of talent, and it's a long season. So at the end of the day, somebody could be 3 on the depth chart and be starting by week 6. So we literally had so many people go down either due to COVID or due to injuries last year. So we know that firsthand that it doesn't matter where you are on the depth chart. You got to still work. You got to still produce. You still got to do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, it's going to, you could still very much be on that field.
Do you feel like there's any questions that you guys have to answer, or what are the big things you want to learn about your team between now and the kickoff to the season?
A lot of people just have to realize that what we did wasn't a fluke, and we can repeat this over and over. When I'm long gone from here, it can still be going on as long as the culture's the same, as long as everybody's working and doing what they're supposed to do. At the end of the day, I feel like we have to prove to ourselves that we are as good as we truly believe that we are. And we need everybody else to realize that as well. I feel like San Antonio understands that. I feel like this facility understands that, but I feel like everybody outside of us need to understand that as well.
Do you think that the defense is going to look pretty similar to last year, or are there some new things you're going to do or mix in as a unit? How do you compare it?
I believe that with the proper elements that we're bringing in, as well as just the things that we're going to remain and keep doing. It's any scheme is fine, but at the end of the day, you still got to tackle, you still got to run to the ball, you still got to execute correctly. Those are the things that we have to make sure that we do consistently, and we have to live by those things every single day. And I feel like those are the things that we have to capitalize during these couple weeks of camp.
How about your role individually? How do you think that might change compared to a year ago, if at all?
More of a vocal role. I was kind of a new dude. I didn't really have a lot of time. I had camp, and that was really about it. So now, I have going on about a year under my belt being at UTSA, and everybody, I feel like, looks up to me to a certain degree. And, I feel like as long as I do what I'm supposed to do, and, I voice my opinions and tell people, I feel like I can point people in the best directions. And the coaching staff also believes that. So I just want everybody to succeed, and I won't steer anybody, wrong.
I think in the spring, Coach Schurler said that there might be opportunities for you to be featured a bit more this year as a pass rusher. Maybe just get in some one-on-one situations against a tackle, or have something schematically that allows you to just get after the quarterback. Has anything been different in that way in how you're deployed?
We just got to see. That's just one of those. It's just week by week thing. Like I said, it's a week by week thing. Sometimes I might have to be in the coverage more. Sometimes they might want me on the front end more. We just got to see week by week.
When you decided to come back for your super senior year, was that kind of something that played a role that you may be featured a little bit more?
It just was a decision that I felt like was necessary.
I think in the spring you told us the NFL prospects probably had a lot to do with that. Was that the primary factor?
Yeah, it was. It was the largest year for underclassmen to leave out, as well as there was no combine. There was no, the pro days were really weird. Like everything was just weird altogether with the whole situation. So I didn't really think I wanted to be a part of that. And also, I felt like I could have did a little bit better.
Yeah, so how can you use this year to position yourself for the NFL? Is there any like specific skills that you have to put on tape or something you have to show to the next level?
Just get to the quarterback. Get to the quarterback, make more plays in the backfield. That's it.
Physically, are you bigger? Do you feel no? You're about the same.
About the same. I'm about the same, but I can't say this is the fastest and the most explosive I've been since I've ever been in college.
How did you get that way? Like what happened over the off season for that to happen?
COVID really played a big role in my opinion, I didn't really have a real year to train at all. Like with me, I started off my spring at Ole Miss last year, and then once spring break. After spring break, I pretty much had when I put myself in the portal, the whole country had locked down. So I literally couldn't go to parks just to go run. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't travel. I couldn't go to any trainers. I couldn't do anything. So I literally had fall camp, and that was it. But I feel like now that I have a full spring, full summer, I just think that, and then it was very, Coach Follow did a great job with me, just allowing me to feel out my body, and he allowed me to do what I needed to do to get those things faster, stronger, more explosive, and I owe all of it to Coach Follow.
Do you feel like overall that's the overall kind of theme with the entire team that
Yes, most definitely.
because of COVID and now y'all had this time together, the team's in better shape?
Our numbers are ridiculous. Like just overall as a team, I think we had 12 dudes PR over 22 miles an hour and 4 guys PR over 23 miles an hour. It's unheard of, like in the short time span that we had it. Like I think it was in less than a year that we were doing those things. And it's all just because of training. That was the biggest thing. And I can say for the whole team has gotten so much better in that degree, strength and speed wise. And, like I said, we all owe it to Coach Follow.
Given some of those challenges that you faced coming into the season last year from that off-season perspective that you talked about, were you happy with the year you were able to put together on the field?
I'm never happy. I could have had All-American year and I still wouldn't have been happy. There's always room for more. It's always room to be better. I mean, Coach Wright said it, and shoot, you get 3 sacks in a game, why didn't you get 4? So at the end of the day, it's like, why be acceptable with what you put on the field when you know in the back of your head you could have did better. So, no, not really.
What drives you to push to that level? Like, where do you get your motivation from?
I just want to make my parents proud. I just want to make my family proud. That's it. Ain't nothing really much more. I just want to make sure my parents are happy with how I've grown over these years. Every time I just make sure all I care about is their approval. I want them to be happy with things that I do. I want to be a great role model to my brother. I want to be a good role model to the rest of the team. I want to be able, when I'm long gone, and these dudes that are freshmen now, I come back later on doing whatever I'm doing, I come back and still look these same guys in their eyes when they're seniors in my position, and still have that same feeling that they had when they were freshmen and I was a senior, when they're seniors themselves.
Have you always been that way, or was there a point in your life or career where that opportunity?
I wasn't always that way. It was just one day, I can't tell you when it was. One day I just woke up. I can't tell you, I just woke up and I was like, this is what I want to do. That's the type of person I want to be. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I did it, but that's just why. One day I did it.
Where does your family live?
Atlanta, Georgia.
And did they get to come last year to some games?
I went to a UAB game.
Are they gonna be able to come to a little bit more?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Now, what's that gonna mean to you to play in front of them?
It's always a good feeling to play in front of my folks. It's always a good feeling. So I'm excited, and I'm happy that we're gonna open up the stadium a little bit more. I'm happy that we're gonna be able to get some fans in, get that stadium jumping, and it's gonna be awesome.
What's the biggest challenge that you faced to get to this point in your career? Is there any particular adversity that stands out that you had to overcome?
Myself. I had to say myself. Things such as doubt, mental fatigue, it's just those things. Like, can't really say. I mean, at the end of the day, circumstances outside your life are always gonna happen. You can't control it. There's no point in tripping about it. But it's the internal things that I feel like touch me the most, probably. So it's like things that I can handle, things that I can change, things that I can take care of. Those were the things in my life that I had to grow and overcome because I can't. You know, things in my life that I can't have any control over, there's no point in being upset about it.
Is it like we were just talking about, where you kind of like just sort of woke up one day and there was a switch that flipped and it just kind of pushed through all of it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Cool.
All right, Chuck.
All right, Chuck,
appreciate
well,
you,
thank you.
man.